Hey everyone, it's Liz with The Hug Life in collaboration with Sweet Stamp Shop, and today I'm doing what I like to call Planner Extravaganza 2016. Pew, 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 pew. Now, it is a little bit later in the year, however, I always want more planners, and just in case you're like, ugh, I'm really happy with the planner I have, maybe this will just show you a couple new options for later in the year, or maybe just make you hug your own planner a little bit harder. So today I am going to be doing brief overviews of a couple planners, as well as I have stamped in the planner to show you how the ink sits in it. Today I am demoing with this adorable little stamp set called Adventure Awaits. I use this stamp that says Things to Do. I chose it because it has a lot of black area or area where you'll see a lot of ink, and I just thought it might be a great stamp to try with. The inks I'll be demoing with today are chalk ink. This is VersaMagic in Spring Pansy. A pigment ink. This is VersaFine Onyx Black. And a dye ink, and this is by Momento, and it is Tuxedo Black. The difference really between pigment and dye is that dye dyes the paper, pigment sits on top like an acrylic paint, and chalk is more similar to pigment. It dries also a little bit slower. Dye ink dries super duper fast because it soaks into the paper. Enough of you guys, get over here. So I stamped on a bunch of different planners. I personally do not own an Erin Condren, however, I do have a couple pages to show you. Erin Condren comes all bound. So it comes just like this planner does. It's spiral bound. A lot of people love it. It has both this is the horizontal format. They also have a vertical format. There are tons of other videos out there if you're really interested. It is basically considered the Cadillac of planners. I just wanted to show you what it kind of looks like in terms of paper and stamping, just so you had something to compare it with, because it is so well known. The chalk ink is first, then we have the pigment ink, as well as the dye ink and a shadow of the dye ink. What does shadowing mean? It means when I take my acrylic block with my stamp on it, I ink up my stamp, I press it once. That is this first one. Not inking the stamp again, I'll press it again, just with the leftover ink, and that is the shadow ink. So I'll be doing that with all the planners I show. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to show you that you can use dye ink in your planners as long as you kind of play with shadow inking. That is because, as you'll see on this other side, it does bleed through. This is the shadow ink, it is definitely bled through. And you can also see that the pigment ink has a bit of a shadow. I think that's just because it's black, but you can definitely see, let's see if I can get a little bit closer for you guys. You can definitely see where it's actually kind of dyed and seeped into the paper. But you notice that the shadow, the second shadow pressing, is just a faint shadow, and the chalk ink you can't really see. In terms of paper, it's a pretty thick paper. This planner does run, I think, about $60, and I know you can buy them online or at Staples. All right, so that is basically the bar to which I will hold all other planners to. The reason I don't have an Erin Condren is because I am in love with my Happy Planner. And what makes the Happy Planner so different, not only is the price point, it's roughly under $30. You can take pages and covers off and on. This only comes in one format, which is vertical. This is a custom cover that I made, which is one of the reasons why I love it, that you can actually make custom things for it. While I have y'all here, this is a typical spread. As you can see, it is vertical layout, which means it goes downwards like this, versus what we had here with the Erin Condren, which you can see you plan horizontally. In terms of paper, the paper's really good. It actually reminds me of the Erin Condren, pretty thick. And again, you can take out pieces of paper, which are really great if you want to go ahead and decorate. You don't have to worry about, flipping your spiral both in or off, because you can just take them out. We have chalk, pigment, dye, and the shadow of the dye. And let me flip this over for you guys. Ignoring this, please. Sorry, I had a little mistake. The chalk doesn't really show up. The dye ink definitely does bleed through. And here you don't even see the shadow. Again, you kind of see a faint shadow of the pigment ink, but nothing so bad that you can't stamp or washi tape over it. Basically, the exact same thing that we had with the Erin Condren. I have a couple others for y'all, including this Day Designer. Let me zoom out just a wee bit. In comparison to the Happy Planner, you can see it is bigger. The Erin Condren tends to be around the same size as the Happy Planner. It's just a little bit taller. This Day Designer by Blue Sky, I believe this is from Target. Let me just move this out of here. It has a hard cover, and I just went ahead and I marked a page for you guys. You get in all of these, both Erin Condren Happy Planner and this Day Designer, a monthly spread. I went ahead and I inked on your weekly layout. It is a vertical spread. It's nice because you have a top 3, a quote, and a bunch of room to just write more. The only thing I personally don't like about it is that Saturday and Sunday do not get as much space as the rest of the week. I'm someone who definitely works on the weekends, so that's kind of a bummer. I do like this area that says gratitude though. That's kind of cool. So you can see that it is spiral bound, so that's nice if you're worried about losing paper. Again, chalk, pigment, dye, and the shadow of the dye. Let me zoom in for you. So the paper is really, really thin, and you can see pretty darn fast everything, including the chalk, had a shadow. Even the shadow of the dye ink had a shadow. I don't know if I would feel comfortable stamping in a planner like this, only because you can see everything would bleed through, and that would just make planning for the next week a pain in the butt. However, there are ways that you can get around it. You can do something like stamp on a piece of paper and then fussy cut and color that out and then use it basically as a sticker. However, that would really tick me off because I sometimes just like to be a one and done kind of gal. But if you have and you like planners that have thinner paper and or have, you know, a different layout that may come versus like the thicker paper planners, then fussy cutting something on paper that you like, and gluing or washi taping those images down might be a great option for you. The next planner I'm showing you is a Webster's Pages Color Crush. This, I believe, is in white. I don't know if it comes in this color anymore. This is actually, I'm borrowing this from Nicole Rickson, the owner of Sweet Stamp Shop, and I haven't ever played with this before. You can see already it is a lighter color. It's kind of gotten colored and dinged. That's how it came with me, but I do think that's kind of indicative of the quality of leather and protective coating on this planner. It does feel like a very soft leather. However, that, if this was mine, I'd be so ticked off. It has a button closure. I'm going to open that up for you, and it is a 6-ring personal format, meaning versus this is more like an A5. So you can see there is definitely a size difference between the Erin Condren and a 6-ring. The personal is great though. It's really easy. I like that there's a snap. It's really simple. It feels like everything sticks together. The 6-ring, you have to kind of either hand punch it with a hole punch or get a special punch. It comes with 2 credit card holders, a pocket here, a flap to hold things, as well as it comes with these cute little kawaii stickers. I love that the inside is gold, and I love that the rings are gold too. I don't know what 2016 has in it, to be honest. And then in the back over here, you have an area to slip in a notepad and a place to hold a pen or pencil. It also does come with a couple of pocket protectors. I don't know what this year, 2016's calendar is going to look like, so I'm not going to go over formatting for this. But I did want to talk a little bit about paper quality, and I know that this has kind of been the case with Webster's Pages for a while. And let me go ahead and zoom you guys in. Just like the Day Designer, it is a thinner paper. This is actually a little bit thicker than the Day Designer, to be honest, now that I'm feeling it in my hands. And again, I've stamped chalk, pigment, dye, and shadow of the dye. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. This is really nice, so you can take things in and out. But I just wanted to show you again, that's how it looks. And again, the dye definitely dyed through. I can definitely see ink there. Can I say definitely a couple more times? And then the pigment ink, you see a shadow. The chalk and the shadow of the dye, you don't. Again, this might be a case where I would maybe directly stamp into it, but only with chalk ink or just shadowing. That is the Webster's Color Crush, and I believe it runs, I would say, in the mid-price zone. It's not as expensive as, let's say, a Filofax or a Kiki K. It's definitely less expensive than those, and a great budget-friendly option. And I do like that it is bound together with this button clasp. The next one I will be showing you is a planner that was put out by Michael's Recollections. They had a bunch of binders with 4 rings, and this was a add-in that you could put inside its calendar. All the pages you have the months marked, but you'll notice they are missing numbers, and the same goes with your weekly format. The weekly format is only on 1 page, and let me show you for size comparison. Compared to my Happy Planner, it's a little bit smaller, just so you can see that. As I open this up, I've stamped in here for you, and then let me go ahead and zoom in. This paper, it's a little bit, the best way to put it is slippery. It is a little bit thicker than I was expecting. I was expecting something closer to the Day Designer, which was that black and white stripe one I just showed you. But this was pretty nice, and I believe, honestly, these were on sale for like $2 or $3 the last time I was at Michael's. It might be because they're changing out the line. Chalk, pigment, dye, shadow of a dye. Again, the dye bleeds through, the shadow totally is okay. The chalk doesn't bleed through, but the pigment, you can definitely see a shadow of it. But at least it's not bled through. I personally don't like this layout. I need a little more room to write. But you know, I think for a budget-friendly planner, this is great. I mean, for only a couple bucks, that seems like definitely something you could either meal plan in or use it to track fitness or something like that. And I like that it has the hole punch. Although, if I couldn't find a binder that fit this, that would drive me bananas. Last but certainly not least, I have a bunch of pages that were sent to me to just try out stamping on by Nicole Rickson. This is Kiki K. Kiki K is a very popular brand, both in Europe and Australia. They make beautiful leather-bound planners that come both in the personal size, like the white Webster I showed you, and a A5 size, which is closer to the Erin Condren or Happy Planner size. The paper that comes in it, guys, I'm gonna be real with you, it sucks. It's super thin. It's like 1-ply toilet paper. Yeah, I mean, it'd be fine if you were just writing notes and maybe only decorating with washi or pencil, but okay. Chalk, pigment, dye, shadow of a dye. Everything, and I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, everything, including the chalk, you can definitely see a shadow. So I would not recommend directly stamping in it. However, you can always stamp on white, color, fussy cut, and stick it on down. That is always an option, especially if you like the layout and the font and the way that the Kiki K looks. This is done by Orange Circle Studio, Calendars for Today. This is just a really cute, small pocket size, easy to fit in your purse planner. And it only comes in monthly layouts. There are no weekly or daily layouts, and just something that would be great to toss in to your bag. And of course, I completely understand people who just want something simple and straightforward. Now, you can see the stamp that Nicole made did fit. Where's my Happy Planner? It fit in the Happy Planner boxes. This stamp does not fit in these boxes. So you just have to use small icons or just be, kind of creative with how you stamp things. But the paper in this is pretty slippery and thick. When I flip it over, honestly, the only thing I really see is that the dye ink definitely bled through and the pigment ink had a little bit of a shadow, but the chalk and the shadow of the dye ink were great. Honestly, I think you could stamp in here with the black VersaFine and be totally fine. So yeah, I think this was only a couple bucks too, if I'm remembering correctly, but it's cute. I mean, this seems like something that would be really easy to throw into your purse. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. As always, please go ahead and check out sweetstampshop.com for more awesome stamps. I'm Liz with The Hug Life, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys!